How can we lead God's people?
Who will take gospel to these people?
There aren't enough churches right now.
In order to shepherd them, lead them, equip them, multiply them.
And we are seeing a new day in the Church of Asia.
God is doing a great work and great ministry in many, many Asian countries. So I think this is the time and the season that God is pouring His blessing and shaking this area to bless other nations as well.
The need for pastoral training is the crying need of Asia. Now, some of them have had seminaries. Like in Japan, that's normal that they have seminaries. But in many of these countries, like Mongolia, very few of them have had training. They were converted, they saw a vision, they obviously were leaders and God chose them to begin churches, but they needed some tools, they needed to be helped, they needed to be encouraged. And that's where Asian Access comes in.
And I think that this focus on pastoral training also reflects our theology and our conviction that the local church is God's primary means for accomplishing His redemptive work in the world. And so for an organization like Asian Access, our best contribution to a country, whether it's got 10 million people or 1 billion people, is to focus on these leaders that God is using to shape the church for this next generation.
We didn't have any Christians 15 years ago. We had 0 Christians. And the country opened up when democracy came in. Now we have reached close to 2% of population within 15 years. And we have more than 200 churches.
As the church grows so fast, also we need the leader, more leader to lead all the church and to do more church planting like that. Asian Access really do great thing in our country.
60% of the world's unreached live across Asia. And if you look at some of the Asian countries like Sri Lanka, India, Bangladesh and all of these countries, the number of churches are very small. We need to build churches that can be reproduced by another person. So Asian Access, we are committed to developing leaders who can reproduce leaders and build churches. To me, I feel if you want to reach a nation, you must have a strategic plan of planting churches all across the nation.
We identify key leaders, leaders of leaders, not potential leaders, but leaders with potential, and share what we've learned over the years about leadership in an Asian context.
Asian Access looks for young emerging leaders who can influence the nations and bring about transformation.
So that church will grow and multiply in each country. And then bless them, release them, and empower them so that they will impact whole Asia.
I'm
confident of the fact that God will continue to use Asian Access and that many pastors will learn to be accountable and be given the resources and the tools they need to develop their churches and to further the kingdom.
God used those people, those training, to transform my mind and heart and my lives.
Every Asian Access program in all the countries across Asia where we're working brings together 12 carefully selected pastors who meet 4 times a year for a week at a time over a 2-year period. The program is in country, it's in service, it's in context, it's in community, it's intensive, and it's ongoing. The mission of Asian Access is to identify, to develop, and to release emerging kingdom leaders. That's what we do, so that they will be used of God to unite the church, to multiply leaders and congregations, and to extend the transforming power of the gospel across Asia into the world.
Bringing people from different denominations and causing them to live together, study together, pray together, have brought about a tremendous unity. Asian Access students, they are sharing their pulpits now. When someone is sick, it is the Alumni Association of Asian Access that takes care of the sick pastor.
Even the concept of church is not like a huge organization. It doesn't start with money at all. We travel, find faithful people, and pass the Great Commission onto them. So they start making disciples themselves.
We're not working in just one church, you know. Every state, every city, every small village,
There aren't enough churches right now. If there were to be a revival, there would not be enough places for those people to come. And so we're part of preparing, and we're part of doing what needs to be done right now so that people in Japan can come to Christ.
God commanded Asian churches to be fruitful, make disciples that will make disciples, be fruitful in obedience. Not just your church, but all entire, discipling the nations. Be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. We must do that.
In India, we have a lot of teaching on leadership development. We have seminars, we have retreats, we have Bible colleges which teach a lot on those topics. Asian Access, I think, is so very different because the focus here is on transformation, life transformation.
Asian Access provides a very specialized training, and I think I would even call it to be a catalyst agent, an agent of change that has brought in major paradigm shift in the process of doing church and developing churches.
We want to see all aspects of society, including families, government, politics, arts, culture and traditions being redeemed by Christ, changing the culture, changing the country from inside out into Christ's likeness.
Asian Access doesn't make leaders. We simply help to develop them and often help to accelerate the rate at which they grow in their understanding of and their expressions of leadership.
And this is what I would want to see in the future, where the church in the West and the church in Asia have developed a trusting relationship so that we can dream together and pray together and achieve together for His glory.